and surprise! Yes, this is Timeless Women with me, Collette Cooper, musician and actor. And yes, this is Friday, not Tuesday when new episodes come out, it's Friday. That's because this is a very special bonus episode, yes indeed. The first of many with Vishul Gudka of the Aesthetic Rooms in London. It's an amazing clinic, and Vish, as I like to call him, Vish, is incredibly talented in his field. So, as I said, this is the first of many bonus episodes that will drop over the course of this series. And today we're talking about the DNA test women can take at the Aesthetic Rooms. It's absolutely brilliant. I've done it myself. Very, very clever indeed. But I'll let Vish explain what that means. Welcome, Vish. So, today we brought you on because we want to talk about DNA, and in particular in women. Testing DNA and what's the benefits from that.
Yeah, of course. So I know we spoke briefly about this before. So obviously what we do, is generally, aesthetics. That's our kind of primary, goal. We work on skin, we work on hair. But what we started to kind of delve into a little bit more was kind of work from inside out.
Yeah, I love that.
Rather than just, you got skin deep, but you have to remember the skin is obviously still an organ. What is the root cause of most of these conditions that we're trying to, whether it's anti-aging or, dehydration, acne, pigmentation, eczema, psoriasis, whatever it may be. But there's always a deeper level of something.
There's always something else.
Yeah, and then so if you look at it from a more of a health perspective rather than a cosmetic side of things, so how do we treat a skin condition rather than just like I've got this condition, I want to look better. Yeah, but you can do all these treatments. You can do treatments to eradicate certain things. However, if you haven't got to the root problem, it will come back, or it can come back. There's a potential of still reoccurrence. So
because it's about the inside, isn't it?
Yeah, and this is where gut health is a big factor. And it's becoming more and more that way. People are understanding that their insides are very, very important now. Biohacking, gut microbiome. So all these things are becoming a bit more more to the surface.
Yes.
So it's like, right, how do we integrate what we can do in the clinic by doing more, not just coming in, have your anti-wrinkle injections, have your deep peels, have your facials. Let's move into, right, where do we go into the depth of what is going on?
Exactly. And I like to do everything in that way.
Yeah. And then look, the that way, the idea is you want to have control of yourself rather than like relying on I need this done, I need this done, I need this done. If you have a bit more control, then it's a bit more measured into, right, what treatment is specific for me that I can do.
And also, I know lots of women who've been to you, who go to you, and they come out looking amazing, but they come out looking glowy. They look glowy and they look healthy. They don't look like they've been done, like they've gone in and like all this terrible stuff done to the face where they look done. They just come out looking really fresh, really healthy, just
No, thank you. Yeah,
and that's obviously onto you, and also because I know you do a lot of vitamin injections as well, which is good.
Yeah, so again, the ethos behind all of this is based on, right, it's nothing should be overdone. Everything should still look natural. When you're doing things like, especially fillers. Fillers is kind of this. There's a stigma, there's a buzzword. It's everything combined. Some people absolutely hate it. Some people love it. It's the in between. So it's making people understand, right? Why are you doing fillers? People see this on Instagram. They're like, oh my God, I don't want to look like that, and I don't want to look like that.
Oh God,
Again,
some horrific faces on Instagram.
yeah,
Gee.
but it's just education, right? So it's understanding that fillers are used for restoration. So they're used as a structural point of view rather than trying to enhance. So,
Yeah,
you're not trying to overdo someone. You're using it as someone has lost volume. Let's restore that volume
yeah,
to what they had. And
yeah,
then you go beyond that, that's when you start hitting other problems.
yeah,
So the idea is, balancing. So, fillers, structural. Then you move a little bit further up and you're looking at the skin. So how do we combine the two together?
yeah,
So you create the structure, you creating the foundation, and then
yeah.
on top you start working on the skin, and that's more of a maintenance thing. So how do we do that on a regular basis? Peels, boosters, and again, it's the whole longevity side of things.
You've got fabulous skin, I've got to
Oh,
say.
thank you. I'll be honest with you, it's partly genetics.
This
So,
is what I want to go on to because I want to talk more about genetics and these amazing like DNA tests that you have. How do they actually work and do they, they can you tell me I'm completely baffled by these
so,
DNA as in
so it is exactly what we said before. It's going back to the root problem, right? So the good thing about DNA tests, they're based on saliva. It's not a blood test,
right.
and you can only capture DNA from a saliva test. So what we're doing here is we send that off to the lab, and then they kind of give you an individual reading of your genetic makeup. So that could be, so arguments say that we've got something on skin DNA, we've got something on hair DNA, and then we'd also combining this with nutrition and fitness.
Yes.
So the genetic makeup will be individual for each person. So let's let's go into the fitness and nutrition one. So what we want to establish from that is, right, what nutrition is best for you to optimize your body. So keep it simple. It could give you on your report, it could tell you something as simple as carbs are okay for yourself. So, you're not going to gain loads of weight by you eating carbs. So you don't need to cut carbs out. Whereas someone else, it might say, actually, carbs is not your friend. You need to reduce the carbs in order to optimize your body. And then the fitness side, again, it could go into detail of what kind of exercises are best for you as an individual. So high intensity might be the optimum for you. Strength training might be the best for someone else.
I
Now
love
it doesn't mean that, it's completely gospel. Like, this is exactly what you have to stick to.
yeah.
But what you can do then is focus it a little bit and say, right, if I prioritize a little bit into these things, it can optimize what I'm doing. And then it goes into, the more details of deficiencies, what supplements or vitamins and all these minerals, amino acids, all these things which you may require. Your body might already have it. You're able to absorb it better. You're not able to absorb it better. So it goes into depth.
Isn't it?
Um,
DNA is definitely the future. If you can go into your clinic and go, great, today, Vish, I'd like a face peel. I want to do a
mm,
DNA test and I want to
yeah,
do a multivitamin injection. That's great. And then the DNA test come back and say, okay, this is what's good for you. You don't need to do that because really you need to go that angle and not that
yeah.
angle. Take that
That's
road, not
it. Yeah. Yeah. And we could and again we tailor that. So we got the skin one as well. We've got then the
so you've got several
um
types. So
there's several types, yeah.
you don't
So
do one DNA for everything. So you have a skin one.
yeah, so there's one specific for skin, and again that will kind of give you a what's it called? It will kind of give you an in-depth reading of what you may be at risk of, so you might be at risk of having acne. You might not have it at the moment, but you might
Skin cancer?
be prone to it.
Yeah.
Um,
Skin cancer. Could it say, your DNA test for your skin, you could be in danger of skin cancer? Could it go as far as that?
it that's it's a difficult one to say that because everyone can be prone.
Okay.
So it's because you have to remember the way cancer works as well. It's free radicals,
Yeah.
so it could be, but we don't really go into that depth because that can be very misleading.
Right.
So we want to keep things quite surface in terms of what we're dealing with.
Right.
Um,
So the skin one, it could so if I took a skin,
it yeah.
you could say to me, okay, Claire, your skin, it works really well
Mhm,
with oils, or it works really well with regular creams without too
mhm.
much oil. Is it that really,
Yeah,
or
it's kind of, yes, and so the main thing is like it goes into depth about your collagen production, your elasticity, sensitivity of your skin barrier function, and then you can address these specific things with right. Your skin requires it requires vitamin D, it requires vitamin C, whatever it requires, it will kind of go into that depth. Then what you're doing now is you're in the prevention stage. So you're in the prevention stage of, let's say, aging.
yeah,
So let's say that's your concern is aging. How you want to be in the prevention stage rather than the treatment stage.
yes,
And that's the way we want to work. We want to work by preventing, so you're
preventing,
treating less.
yeah,
And that's with everything. It's not just obviously skin. You're talking about your whole body. Everything should be about prevention rather than treatment.
right,
So yes, look, again, you have to remember when things like oils and skincare and all this, every every ingredient will be different as well. So again, you some of the things you have to take with a pinch of salt. But if it goes into specifics of you are allergic to, something like nickel,
yeah,
a lot of people with, for example, eczema, they don't realize there's a nickel in a lot of makeup,
oh, really?
and they're putting it on, and all of a sudden it's like, well, I keep getting flare-ups, and I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and all of a sudden, it's because they're allergic to um, just a very small compound that you don't even realize. So that's when we're looking at allergies and tolerances, because we
Yeah,
want to understand, right, if there's a specific ingredient that you cannot do, right, remove it. And then we go forward from there.
yeah. So, I always have a problem with, in the sense that, going back to, which it's absolutely brilliant that you can do DNA tests and what's good for your skin, and how to, make, look fresh and look healthy, because I think that's important, just being fresh and healthy at any age, but there's a real problem where women overdo things. My podcast is about timeless women, and I mean
Hmm.
timeless women in the sense that women don't stop when they have
Hmm.
menopause. They don't feel they can't do something because of a certain age. It's, I want to
Hmm.
eradicate the expression age appropriate when it comes to
Yeah.
women generally doing, or limiting what they can do.
Hmm.
And there's a real ageism in our
Yeah.
country. You could go
Hmm.
to France, or but especially, yeah, especially France. Older women are celebrated, and over here, tend to treat it like a disease, and it's
Mm.
like an illness. Well, it's not, is it? It comes to us all, and
Yeah.
so I like women to embrace. I think it's great for women to, all of us, to embrace our age.
Yeah.
Um, I'm an actor and I'm a musician, and
Hmm.
I want to be able to keep doing this until I die. I don't
Hmm.
want someone saying, "Oh, well, she shouldn't be doing that at her age now," and that's
Yeah.
not age appropriate. I think that is so bad. It's ageism, and it should be
Mm.
treated as any other form of isms, as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned.
Yeah.
You know, and so, but I do think it's important that we feel good. You know, we don't stop, we don't pause for menopause. When you go into
Yeah.
perimenopause and you go into menopause, there's so many factors there that can make you, stop you from doing things, mainly because of tiredness or
Yeah.
brain fog, or like I just had brain fog, now you noticed, didn't you, Vish? Perimenopause. And so, we shouldn't have to stop because of
Yeah.
this. Why should we? But it's important that, we have, physicians like you with brilliant clinics who go, look, we can do this for you, we can do that for you. So you feel good about yourself. not because you want to turn back the clock and make yourself look 20, 30 years younger, because
That's it.
that's just
Yeah.
stupid. And they don't look 20, 30 years younger. They just look ridiculous, you know.
So absolutely, you're spot on there
Feel
because
good about yourself in nutrition, in,
yeah,
facial, skincare, nutrition, vitamin injections. I think that's, really important,
yeah,
especially for women, go through perimenopause and menopause,
yeah,
it's brilliant.
yeah. No, because again, yeah, spot on because I know you're saying, it's about confidence, right?
Yeah,
So people want to feel confident in
yeah.
themselves. And now we are seeing a lot more of that. So even, especially in the women, I'm seeing they come in, they don't want to look, in their 50s, if they're in their 50s, they don't want to look 30.
No, it's
Yeah.
cheap.
And we're seeing, I am seeing a lot more of that. I don't want to look 30. I want to look my age, but I want to look fresher. That's all
Exactly.
it is.
Just
Yeah.
healthy, fresh, like you've been
That's
on
right.
holiday. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's
So
nothing wrong with that. And
and
I think that's good.
that's it. And that's the idea. It's embracing
Yeah.
your, what you have, right? Rather
Yeah.
than, oh, I want to be X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Now, there's nothing wrong with that either. But we are seeing more and more people who are just naturally more comfortable.
Yes.
And yes, I feel tired or I'm fatigued and it's showing on my face. So what can we do?
Mm.
And look, expectation is a big thing. Yeah, managing
Yeah.
expectations. So
Yeah.
is even just by explaining that, look, we're not going to be able to turn the time back 20 years,
Yeah.
but most of it is agreed upon and said, good, I don't really want that. But what I do want is I want to look a little bit more awake or want to look more fresh. And that's it.
Exactly. I
Um,
mean, I know some people absolutely turn the nose down at
yeah,
anybody having any form of treatment. And it's like, oh, you should all grow old gracefully. Well, that is
yeah,
growing old gracefully. And also, what is the difference between that,
yeah,
making yourself look fresh and having your hair done? It's the same
yeah.
thing, is it
Well,
not? Okay, to
that's
get
it.
your hair done, even in the mornings, if you get up, and go, oh, I better do my hair
Yeah,
today, shower. It's all about presentation. It's all about feeling good,
yeah,
looking fresher. That's just all part and parcel of
absolutely.
good.
Yeah,
That's just the whole
yeah.
thing.
It's the same as, and I always say this. Why do people go to the gym?
Exactly.
You know, so your gym obviously is body health, but
Yeah.
also it's a feel good factor.
Yeah.
You increase your confidence, and and as a bonus, you look better.
Yes.
So if you take that same analogy into anything else you're doing, if you're looking at your skin,
Yeah.
yeah, your skin is more or less the same thing. Why you it's the first thing that people look at, right? And I'm
Yes.
not saying that's yes the end of everyone,
Yeah.
but people do feel confident when they go to the gym,
Yeah.
because they feel better.
Yeah.
The same as when people go to the dentist.
Yeah.
Why do people go to the dentist? They want to do something about their teeth. Why?
Yeah.
Because they want to feel confident.
Yeah.
So all these aspects of, oh, but gym is different and
Mm.
skin is different and your
Yeah.
teeth are different and
Yeah.
you know, you have to take it and say, well, hold on a second. Why are we looking at just one thing? Why is one thing frowned upon, one thing is not frowned upon? You
Exactly.
know,
But also,
um,
I do like seeing older women who are confident they're great achievers and they're cracking on
yeah,
with life and still achieving great things.
hmm
And I like to see them tell a story in their face. I like to see the lines. I like
yeah,
to see
yeah,
the lines, but you can still soften them with however
yeah.
way you do that. But I think it's good. You don't want to eradicate the whole character
No,
story of someone's
yeah,
face.
that's right.
That just, especially as actors,
Yeah,
you got to have expression. You got to talk. You got to tell that story within your face. But
yeah,
it doesn't mean that you also have to look knackered all the time or exhausted
yeah.
all the time
No, no, exactly.
or just run through the mill or like
Yeah,
the underground tube map.
yeah. But
That's me.
if
I
you
don't
look at
like
if
underground map.
I see actresses, I see actors. Look, that again, the main thing is you want to make sure you're keeping your expression. So
Yes,
let's not overdo it.
absolutely.
Um, but you also look at the other side of things, like let's go to Hollywood.
Yeah.
People are doing things all the time, right?
Do you know the
You
weird? Do you know that that was Hollywood, and
yeah,
now what casting directors do now, which I think is great, uh,
mm,
They just don't cast people who have had lots of work done because we,
Yeah,
we're not reality people. We,
yeah,
these programs, we're actors and we're playing characters, and you have to
yeah.
relate. You have
That's
to be
right.
relatable. And so I think Hollywood's doing a little bit of a turnaround
Mhm.
and wanting more realistic looking people, that you can relate to. At one point, you'd look at the cameras and, the screens, and all you'd see is um, everyone looking the same and completely ironed out and all these
Yeah,
overly big lips. And, you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
you just think, what?
No, no,
How
absolutely.
can you? She's a shop girl, and also she's working in a shop on the in and on a she's supposed to be streetwise and she's working in a corner shop and she looks like one of the Kardashians. Not realistic, is it?
But I think this is where the if things are flipping over, where most people they're looking at the internals now.
Yes.
So right, how do I age from inside out?
Yeah.
And
It's a fact.
or yeah, and this is what you're seeing a lot more. Things like NAD, glutathione.
That's
You
big.
know the
NAD. We've got to touch base on that because you can do that at
Yeah.
home now, right? Yourself.
So yeah, so obviously NAD has always um historically kind of been an IV administration. So
I've had
we
one
are
there for hours.
yeah, it takes a long time.
Yeah.
So they can be inconvenient. So we are doing them as intramuscular now. Um, but
About that. What would
yeah.
happen with that? I'd come to
So
you.
yeah, so NAD is basically it's a coenzyme. So it basically helps with cellular energy production,
Yeah.
and DNA repair. So it basically plays a great role in like metabolism, longevity, and overall kind of health.
Yeah.
So
We do it
it
naturally in our bodies, don't we? And it decreases as we get older.
yeah, so we have it naturally in our body, but by the time you get to 50, 60, it depletes. So by the time you get 60, some 70, it's gone. So
That
you
different in
you kind of
women?
replenish it.
Is that different in women than men?
It can be, yes. So and again, it is worked on. It does work on individuals as well.
Yes.
Um, but yes, it just depends on again your DNA, how it's supporting you.
Yeah.
So you know fatigue is a big thing.
Yeah.
So what NAD is doing is and while you have NAD, what NAD is doing is giving you that cellular energy.
Yes.
So it's basically boosting your ATP production. So it enhances your energy levels. And what this does is reduces your fatigue. Um, and
Right.
this in return also gives you better brain function, brain fog, mental clarity.
It's
Uh,
great for menopause, isn't it?
so again, because in menopause, what's happening is that brain fog. It's that again the mental clarity side of things. So
Yeah.
what you're trying to do is how do we eradicate that side of things?
Yeah.
So again, it works really good for people who are exercising, gym goers, because it aids in muscle recovery as well.
What would we do then? So, for example, if someone wants to come to you to get a NAD, they would
Yeah.
come and you'd inject it where? In the thigh, hip,
You can do the arm.
the arm.
Thigh or glute is better. But arm is fine.
Okay.
Yeah. But we have to make a protocol. So we have to understand exactly what they're going through.
Right.
Um, you know, Potentially start them off on a course. And then from there we would basically lead on to right what's next. So
Yeah.
um
That's
and then and yeah, so it's not something new, but it is new, if that makes sense. So
oh,
it's
well, I know what you're saying. It's not new because well, I remember when maybe it didn't. I would just remember a couple of years ago, I went and had the intravenous strips, and it was
yeah,
hours. I did feel great, and I had a few of those. But
yeah, yeah,
when I came to you for that vitamin D injection, because I remember you saying if you take it orally, it can be quite toxic. So I did stop it, and I felt a lot better. When I came to you and I had that vitamin D injection, I was literally like, "Have you seen Back to the Future where he's playing the guitar on stage and he's
yeah,
dying?" I
yeah,
felt
yeah, yeah,
that, and then when you gave me the injection, I went, "Whoa, this is good." I felt great. That alone was just fantastic for me.
yeah, yeah. So
Clear
it's not a case of, so with oral tablets. What can happen because it metabolizes through the liver. It can end up getting stored in the liver, which can cause liver toxicity. Now, again, it's not in everyone.
No.
But end of the day, what I'm saying is, if you, for example, if you did let's say the injection eradicates that risk.
Yeah.
So it's not to say that everyone is going to have that.
Yeah.
So that's just.
I just think it's really important, and I do think it's the future, having these injections straight into the bloodstream, like the B injections, because I'm vegan, so I need that vitamin B, and I think that's the way to go. I also take a great tonic called Valerie. I'll send you some.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's great for, I think it's going to be great for anybody at any age, but it's great for perimenopause, and
Okay.
it's got everything in it. It's really good. It's just got everything in it. And I started to take it, and I started to feel really good with it. It is great. That combined with your vitamin injections, definitely going to come for a NAD. And I think it's really important because especially in the job that I do and what I do as a musician and an actor and writing, I need that focus. I need that energy. And, we don't pause for menopause, do we? Right? Is that the deal?
That's it. So, absolutely. It's and like I said, it's just we want to work from inside out.
Inside out, exactly. Work from inside out.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vish. And
Thank you, Collette, for having me.
And that's it for this little bonus episode. Loved it. Links to Vish and the aesthetic rooms are in the show notes. And don't forget to get you 15% off your purchase at Delilah with the code TIMELESS15. And also check out Nimble Care's cleaning products too. All ethical, amazing brands. I'll see you as normal next Tuesday. Mwah. Have a great weekend.